Williams built as if his family's future depended on every board and every bucket of concrete, because it did. Williams' house stands on the corner of Maple and 6th. Its concrete steps still smooth after 70 years. The secret, neighbors said, was in his mix. Instead of guessing, he kept a notebook tucked in his shirt pocket, the pages stained with cement dust and numbers. For every 3 parts gravel, he measured 2 parts sand, then added 1 part Portland cement, a 3-to-2-to-1 ratio he swore by. Water came last, poured slow, so the mix stayed thick enough to hold shape, but wet enough to set without cracks. He would test each batch by pressing a trowel into the mound. If the imprint held, it was ready. Williams insisted on pouring his footings wider and deeper than code required, sometimes twice as thick as the city minimum. He called it insurance against the world. The foundation walls, poured by hand in wooden forms, rose straight and true. Lumber for framing did not come from the yard pre-cut to length. Instead, he and his sons spent evenings in the backyard, sawing each stud from rough boards salvaged from freight crates. They picked pieces with the tightest grain, rejecting anything with a knot or split. Where most builders used 2x4s, Williams used 2x6s set 16 inches apart. Floor joists were doubled under heavy rooms, and attic rafters were braced with extra cross ties scavenged from old barn beams. Inside, door frames and window sills were milled by hand, sanded smooth, and sealed with linseed oil. Nails were driven in at opposing angles, a trick learned from a railroad foreman to keep them from working loose over time. Even the roof shingles were laid in overlapping rows. Each one was checked for a tight seal. Inspectors who visited years later found no sag in the floors and no cracks in the walls. The house had weathered storms, hard winters, and decades of use without a single structural failure. Williams built as if his family's future depended on every board and every bucket of concrete, because it did. The result was a home that asked for little maintenance and gave back generations of shelter, standing as quiet proof that careful hands and forward thinking could outlast any hardship.